Okay, guys, what's up? Nice to see you again. Okay, so let's see what we're going to discuss about today. In the second episode, I think we're going to talk about books. That's the first thing that we're going to talk about today, and then we'll see if we have time for some other topics. Okay, so books. Let's think a little bit um, about the books and why is it good in the first place to read versus, let's say, why is it why it's more beneficial to read a book than to, I don't know, just watch a movie or just listen to an audiobook. And everybody's talking about nowadays of self-improvement and the fact that it's a good thing to do self-improvement. I don't want to dwell too much on the subject. Self-improvement can also be good as long as your source is good. Usually I tend to believe that as sources, in these new sources, I don't tend to have so much faith in it, because the society right now, it's kind of on I think on a crash course. Why? Because it's too much speed, and people used to do people used to have different experiences in the past, and I think it wasn't so much copy paste as it is today. People were more original. So I think originality, it comes like a big problem nowadays. Being authentic, being an original person, it's kind of hard nowadays. I think that's one of the purposes that reading a book can do it to you. I think the main quality, let's say main perk added if you're reading a book versus even listen to an audiobook or let's say watching a movie, is that you will be able to construct your own idea about a different subject, and you have your own perception over a different subject. Okay, the book might be one might say that the book, it's written by a certain guy in a certain style. Like a movie, it's directed by a certain guy. If it's like Christopher Nolan or Coppola, right? I can go and Stanley Kubrick. They're pretty great directors, which are extremely good and extremely gifted. But we're not here to talk about them. And even that is a subject I might tackle at one day. The added value of a book is that you can see a certain subject through your own eyes. You don't see it through some other guy's eyes. So when, I don't know, Steven Spielberg directs a movie, you see the movie through his eyes. So that's his vision, is going to become your vision as well. It's not that his vision is bad, but it's his vision. So because it's his vision, is not going to be it's going to be yours as well, but it's not going to be something authentic that your mind created, right? It's going to give you a certain feeling, that's for sure. But still, it's his vision. By reading a book, you can actually do what's happening when you're reading a book is that, and I'm pretty sure that some of you guys already did that. In case you didn't, there's no problem. That's always a good way to start, especially the newer generations, because now it's not such a cool thing to read a book anymore. It's to do some other activity, mainly playing video games or hang out with friends or so on. But there's certain type of people which try to understand a little bit more about their existence. So they want to try to be more authentic, to understand maybe their place in this world. So that's where a book really comes and can really help you change your perspective about about this society and about even your place in this particular universe and this. And yes, a book can do that. Some experience can do that. Many say like traveling. It's true. I've also traveled many places around the globe, and I can say that traveling it's also a very good teacher that, and a very harsh one at some point. But it's a good teacher. A book it's also a very good teacher. PlayStation it's not a good teacher, and PC also is not a very good teacher if you're only doing entertainment on it. Okay, another very good part about books is that they get you disconnected from this, I think, at some points, well too connected world that we're living. We're too connected, we're too jacked up into this technology. And I think I might have said it before previously, our brains, I don't think they're adapted to this change that's happening. Is going to take quite some time for us to get adapted. But going a little bit straight to what I was thinking of going, it's being jacked up all day. You get your phone, if you have some time off, let's say, then what you're going to do. If you're in a waiting line, let's say you're going to your dentist, what you're going to do. You're going to fill this blank spot that you're having, blank time spot, right? You're going to fill it by opening the phone and searching for stuff. So you don't really have enough time for self-reflection. At least that's what I'm seeing. It's going to, yes, alter your perception and always feel this void, because you're constantly connected, you're constantly seeing things. So you don't have time to self-reflect about yourself, about the meaning of life. If you also add this hustle culture which we're living nowadays, everybody runs after money. You open YouTube and the first thing you see, how to make yourself like 10 millions really fast, how to get yourself the first million, how to get money. So it's everything revolves around money. And maybe that's a subject I will tackle in another video, which is it's important, but I think people are putting too much emphasis on it. But what I'm trying to say, because I think I deviated a little bit with this thing that the book does, it actually managed to fill this gap of self-reflection and the meaning of life. And you get this time when you're reading, you get this time with yourself. So it's almost as good as meditation, maybe even better, or at the same, I would say at the same level, because you get time with you get time to reflect. Some would say that you get distracted, that meditation it's even better, because then you meditate on a certain thing and you think about yourself more and you empty your mind. My cat decided to show up. I think it calms you. When you're reading a book, you're not be agitated. We always tend to get some sort of a way to get all our minds of this reality. So that's a very good thing. Books can do that. You can do that as well. Of course, reading too much and staying too much in a book, in that reality, will become your reality. So it's like always, eating too much honey is not going to be so beneficial to you. Eating some spoons is going to be good daily. I think as the thing with the books is that if you overdo them, but I think it's going to separate you more from the society. The more you read and the more abstract you get, you will get into that world. So if you're only doing that, you're only reading, and you don't get yourself involved into the society as well, you're not going to like society anymore, and you're just simply going to isolate yourself. Which for some guys, if you're Daniel Day-Lewis, is going to be beneficial to you. If you're that type of guy, but if you're not, then I don't think it's going to be that, let's say, that beneficial. Okay, I'm thinking about books, let's say books versus audiobooks, like reading versus listening. Yes, books versus audiobooks, let's say. I would say definitely books. Why? While audiobooks sound good, I think it's a different experience when you're reading. You're reading versus when you're listening. Okay, I've also listened to some audiobooks on some books, and they can be good as long as the narrator has a nice voice, a calm voice, or I don't know, he's pretty good. If he's talented, it's going to be an okay experience. But again, nothing compared to reading a book. That's from my perspective. I'm pretty curious, what's your take on this one? If you think audiobooks are, let's say, are a better option than reading books. I would say it's different, not be biased, but I would definitely prefer more reading the book. Let's say reading the book over a hardcover versus a Kindle. That's another thing. Reading a book from a hardcover, I think it gives you more of an. It's more like a personal take. I think it gives you a more authentic experience again, because you're thinking about the book and how the books were written since the beginning of time, right? It's a piece of paper and some ink on it, and it gets you this feeling that you're doing something mysterious, that it gives a certain mysticism. So yeah, I think Kindle, if you're reading from a Kindle or a tablet or even a phone, besides the fact that it's a little bit, it will not get you in that state, I think. It's also the fact that you're reading from a screen, so you're somehow back to, let's not say square one, but maybe 1.5. Okay, now when it comes to book genres, that's about anybody's preference. Myself, I like science fiction and I like classic books, classic readings, like let's say Shogun or Karamazov Brothers, Dostoevsky. But of course, I also like Foundation, about Asimov, also like Dune by Frank Herbert. Also, I can definitely recommend Sapkowski, the Witcher series, and I can do like a lot of recommendations. One Flew of the Cuckoo's Nest. There's just so many books that are really good. Franz Kafka with The Trial, and when it comes to genres, maybe I can say I'm a little bit more inclined to to be on the let's say Tesla side here, on a more futuristic. I like science fiction like a lot, though I've been exposed to more classics, and more other types of readings in my lectures, let's say. One, if you're interested in personal development, though, that's where I got a little bit. I cannot read these new guys because it's a personal preference. I think some of them can be pretty good, as far as I've heard. There's a lot of bestsellers. There's a lot of guys which wrote this personal development books, like Dale Carnegie and some others, which are centered about are focused more on how to get productive and how to be like a successful people in nowadays. So it depends what you're searching within a book. My recommendation is, before starting with these new ones, maybe go a little bit and check the still the old ones. You might laugh and say I'm biased. Yes, I might be biased, and I strongly believe that if you're looking for personal development, you don't need so many guides like you have today. If you read the Marcus Aurelius, his thoughts, his memoirs, I think you get yourself with a really good blueprint that you can follow on your daily routine. Also when it comes to personal development, I also think that Dune, it's a pretty good, though it's classified as a science fiction book. I certainly do not believe it to be a science fiction book. I mean, even the author said that it's he writes science fiction books for not science fiction readers. So it's about I would say about self-development, because it focuses so much about human connections and how humans interact between themselves, and the fact that we're still, in his vision, in Frank Herbert's vision, we're going to be driven by the same emotions that we're on right now. At least that's what his vision was, even if the setting it's the book setting, it's like 20,000 or 30,000 years from now, so really in the future. So yes, what else can I say about books? It's when is the good time to read? Usually that depends. When it's a good time to read, I would say usually when you're calm, so you would have time to absorb what you're reading, not just go like I don't know, just I read this. It's not supposed to be like a contest. Okay, I did this. I arrived on this mountain, on this top of the mountain. I just finished this book. No, the concept behind it, it's to actually understand something out of it. So you have to have yes, another question would be, how often should you do it? I can give you a simple example. It's like it's like going to the gym. It doesn't matter if you're going half an hour. It doesn't matter if you're going for an hour or for 2 hours, as long as you're going every day. So it's the same with reading. But let's say even if you're not doing it daily, which is kind of hard, though you should do it, I think you should still doing it like at least a couple of days or 1 week or even 2 weeks, 1 hour, half an hour. Do yourself like a routine. I think even 10 minutes a day can be really beneficial. Just reading a chapter, it's also good. I would incline to, if you want like a better experience, to just read it concisely, meaning don't let it wait for, I don't know, you read today 2 pages and after 2 weeks you read 3 pages, because then I don't consider that like a very good reading, because you get disconnected. At least try to read some chapters, try to read try to read some chapters, try to read let's say a small story within that book, so you would understand something, not just leave it there and then you'll pick it up after months, because it's going to be hard to really get it. Though I sometimes also do it in this way. I start reading a book, and then I pause it for 1 week, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and then I start doing it again. Usually when I do that, I tend to go backwards, so I would remember where I left, so it would give me a context, so I can get myself in a certain feeling and understand what the author was trying to say there, and wrap my mind on it, let's say. A successful person usually reads. But I also think that most successful people in this life gave a significant amount of time on reading. I also think that, because that's how they got authentic. That's how they managed to find themselves a little bit better than the others, and find their motivations, find their strengths. I think that it helped them, especially the older generations. I mean, they read much more books than what we're doing it right now, mainly because they had more time, I think, and the society was built in a certain way. Now society is different, but you can get these perks and apply them in by reading a book. I think you can get the perks there and still apply it even in our days society, and get yourself boosted up. It's mainly almost free. It only costs your time. A book doesn't cost that much. You can always get it for free on the web and read it on the computer, which I don't recommend it. But best is just buy maybe a used hardcover if you don't have the, let's say, the money to buy like a new one with a good print. But as long as you buy like a hardcover and you're sticking to it, after you're piling up a couple of them, and try some other genres. You don't have to try just one type of a book. Don't read just science fiction. Don't read just self-improvement. Don't read just classic literature. Don't read just fantasy or crime, thriller books. Try to be diverse. When you're being diverse with your books, I think there's more to be gained, and you will tap into some aspects and some parts of your mind that you weren't expecting them to be there, and you're going to be intrigued, and I think it's going to help you tremendously. I think you can apply the same pattern like in visiting a lot of places instead just visiting one place. Even though that one place can be really, really nice, you're missing out the others. And by going to other places, it's like by reading other types of books and reading other books, you will get a perspective also in how good it is, the one that you had, let's say, your mindset on. If you have like a certain type of book, and it might even encourage you to do and read more on that book. So yeah, diversify as much as you can. And yes, tell me what was the last book that you read, and what was your opinion on it? And I'm pretty curious about this versus books, what I said. What's your take on it? I'm pretty curious. See you next time, guys. Have a good one.